What is up, Sycamore artists, future designers, future leaders, creative thinkers, and problem solvers? Welcome to what looks like is our last lesson of the year. I hope you guys have enjoyed these lessons as much as I've enjoyed teaching. It's been an honor and a privilege to share just a little bit of what I know with you guys. And hopefully you guys apply these skills every day and practice every day. And keep using what I've taught you and keep these tools in your toolbox, your artistic toolbox, for the rest of your careers. Let's see. We've been talking a lot about typography this semester. Typography is a great place for you guys to explore creativity and start your artistic journeys. You learn a lot about drafting, you learn a lot about margins, you learn composition, space, use of color, use of shading, use of perspective, and all of those things are applicable to many other aspects of art and all other media that you will pursue later. I think we left off when we were talking about geometric typography, creating alphabets with shapes and keeping things uniform and whatnot. So I want to actually share with you what I've created since then, because in teaching you guys, I've been reminded you got to stick to the basics. And I think we're talking about geometric typography. So excuse me one moment, and let's see what we have. I'll share a couple photos with you guys. There it is. All right. So this is my version of a geometric typographic alphabet. And it sounds like a lot. It's just letters made using shapes. This is what's called a print. So one of my favorite methods of art is printmaking. And I hope I get to teach you some of that technique later on. But I do this by cutting out pieces of paper as a layer and then spraying with spray paint and removing it. And it's kind of like a screen print. But doing that, I'm able to make this image over and over and over again. So again, this is my typographic version of a geometric alphabet. And I did this using hand cut stencil and spray paint. There it is. There's a couple there's a shot of all the multiples. And as you can see, it's very shape driven. I only used 4 colors. There's nothing deviant or nothing outside of what I've taught you. I didn't use any technique that you guys don't know about to create this. Actually, I did screen printing, excuse me. But to get this part right here, my first draft, what everything else was based off of, I didn't use any technique that you guys didn't learn this year. Again, for this right here, for my first initial layout, I used every single technique that I've taught you guys. Top lines, baseline, X height, margins, and strictly use of shape. You can see that there's circle templates in there of a few sizes, triangles. I didn't really do anything extraordinary except take my time and really think about it and plan. The hardest part was dividing 26 letters into a 5x5 space. If you think about that, 5x5 is 25, and I have to fit 26 letters into a 25 space. That was the biggest challenge. And so I've compromised by fitting the I into the second row, because the I doesn't really take up too much space. So this is my iteration of a geometric typographic alphabet. And it was inspired by you guys. So I hope you guys kind of like that and will apply what I've taught you. I wanted to leave today's lesson with you guys talking about one of my favorite forms of art, which is the concert poster. Yes, the band concert poster. I know you guys are starting to explore your own taste in music. Some of you guys are musicians as well. I think there's a Sycamore band out there, Sick Potatoes. Shout out to the Sick Potatoes if you guys are out there. Remember me when you get famous. Maybe I'll make you guys a concert poster, or maybe one of these fellow artists will make your guys' future concert poster for the Sick Potatoes. So the band concert poster, yes, we're all exploring our taste in music. We all have our favorite songs, our favorite artists, our favorite bands, and music is an integral part of my life as it is yours. I'm a musician. These right here behind me are the albums that my band, the band that I was in, we made these in 2005 and 2010. I'm really proud of them. But music is also a form of creativity, and music inspires a lot of art, and a lot of art is, a lot of music is inspired by art. So the band concert poster, and I'm going to give you guys a few examples and then I'll show you guys some really cool examples. The band concert poster is a very, very special place in, yes, American music history, American pop culture history, because it's now revered as its own fine art form, where before it was just an advertisement, like just kind of like, come see this guy play at 7 o'clock. People started to incorporate really, really cool imagery. And so around the 1960s, when the landscape, when music was changing and people started to be really experimental in music and taking music in a new direction, the venues, the places that these bands were playing, wanted the advertisements to reflect that changing landscape of music, the new experimenting of sounds and cultures and thought and process that was going into this music making. So around the 1960s, concert posters started to take a new turn. And before then, there were just kind of these flat advertisements, just the information, who, what, when, where. And it still holds that way. A great concert poster, a really, really good concert poster. I know this sounds weird, but because I'm really into typography, but a really good concert poster will have very little writing on it. So the less writing on the concert poster, the better. I know that sounds weird because we're into letters. It's like what you're teaching us about letters and then you don't want us to write on it. I'll give you guys some examples and we'll build on that. The concert poster is supposed to emulate the feeling of the band and the music. And if it's going to be at a special location, the artist will try and emulate the feeling of that place too. So I think I was teaching you guys a bit back about personification and onomatopoeia. A lot of that is incorporated into the concert poster because you want to emulate the feeling without using a lot of words. There does have to be words on there because you obviously have to tell the who, the what, when, and where. So if it's who and what, it's the band or the artist. When, time, date, and then where, place. So you really only need 3 bits of writing on there, 3 sections of type: the who or what, the band or the artist, the when, the time and date, and then the where, the place, the location, the venue. So you don't really, really need a lot of specifics on a concert poster, but you can use any type of art you want. And that's the awesome part. There's a lot of fine artists right now, a lot of graphic artists, graffiti artists, pop artists. We all love music, so we can try and emulate the feeling of our favorite band however we want. So I'll start with some examples. I was talking about the 1960s, excuse my arm. I was talking about the 1960s and how those concert posters started to change the dynamic of music advertising. So I'll start with these 3. And there's a lot of famous artists. They were called the Fillmore Collective. There's a group of about 5 or 6 of them, and their artwork is very sought after now. But early on, they wanted the typography to emulate the type of music that the bands were making. So like I said, the bands were experimenting with new types of music, new themes, new sounds, So the artist wanted to encapsulate that into the imagery. And this is a poster for a band called Birds. And you can see that there's a really cool representation of a bird in the middle and a lot of other writing that's not illegible, it's unreadable. And there's difference between illegible and unreadable. Illegible is like scribbled, you can't read it. Unreadable means you have to take your time and stop and look at it, and then it's readable. So with this, they wanted you to have to stop and take your time and really explore the poster the same way you would have to stop and take your time and explore this new type of music that was coming out. Here's another one. A lot of typography in this one, a lot of cool flowing letters, a really cool picture of what looks like a woman wearing some kind of flower crown. Very cool. Right away, I'm drawn into this and going, what is this? And that does a good job. They wanted you, the viewer or a passerby, to look at this poster and say, whoa, what is that? That's cool. Stop, read it, and then you're having to look at it, and then you really understand what it is. So here's another example as well. And these were all, like, and I said, there was a place called the Fillmore Auditorium in San Francisco, and they were the kind of the originator of this type of poster. It's called Fillmore Concert Style, and the group of artists was known as the Fillmore Collective. You don't have to know any names. I'm going to show you guys a couple more to show you guys how it's developed over the last decades, but people are still paying tribute to those originators. So here's a few coming up that are really awesome, and they're done by the same artist. This is a poster for an artist named Ben Kweller, and as you can see, it's very colorful. It all looks like it's hand-drawn, hand-doodled. The typography on here, again, it looks like it's hand-drawn. The artist abandoned all the elements, margins and things like that, but it came out really cool. It works for this poster. It's just a great example of a really cool concert poster. Very minimal information, but gives me exactly what I want to know. Ben Kweller, 2006, 2007 World Tour, and that's it. So I see this and they go, wow, Ben Kweller's going on tour. It's a really cool piece of art. It's really poppy and kind of flowy. And then I'm probably going to assume that his music is something along those lines. This is a band called the Arctic Monkeys. They played in Mexico City, March 2019. So the artist paid tribute to Mexico by using a jaguar in the poster. And that's a really cool homage to Mexico by using the animal, which is very, very popular in Mexican culture. So here's another one. This is a band called Imagine Dragons, and you can see the very cool image at the bottom. Awesome, awesome lettering, very colorful, very geometric, but minimal information. It tells you who, Imagine Dragons, with the special guests, when, Saturday, March 23rd, where, the Fillmore Auditorium. So we'll move on to this one too. Steve Aoki. This is a really, really cool poster, very colorful. It draws me in. Steve Aoki is a DJ, and so it was really awesome that the artist incorporated some records and some technical aspects into this poster, and he kind of made the hair flowing down looking like speakers and a mixer and a fader, and there's some knobs. And the typography, if you notice on this one, is really, really cool. Very geometric, very simple, shape-driven. Great, great poster. And as you can see, a lot of these are varying in style. So what I love about concert posters, like I said, is you can use any kind of art that you want, any kind of art. Graphics, hand-drawn, doodle, stencil, graffiti, photo collage, anything you want into a concert poster. This one is beautiful. This is a beautiful piece of art. It's in what's called the Bauhaus style. It's very, very simple, very shape-driven and beautiful colors. And it's very simple. It tells me Feist is playing at the Arlene Schnitzer Concert Hall, November 6th in Portland, Oregon. That's all I need to know. So while there are elements of typography, there's more elements of illustration and art. And that's why I'm showing you guys this last, because you guys can incorporate whatever art that you do, whatever art that you want into our final project, which is going to be making concert posters for your favorite band or artist. So I'll show you guys a couple more examples. This is in another Arctic Monkeys poster. And I showed you guys one previously where they're playing in Mexico City and the artist used a Jaguar. Here they're playing in Birmingham, UK. And in Birmingham, there are a lot of factories and a lot of smokestacks. So the artist paid tribute to Birmingham by incorporating a skyline with smokestacks. And then he made the faces of the band coming out. And this is a beautiful poster. It's, in my opinion, it's a gorgeous piece of art. It's colorful, it's simple. It tells me exactly what I want to know. Who, when, and where, and that's it. This is another example of a beautiful poster. You can see the typography at the bottom. It's very shape-driven. This poster is very colorful, very simple. There's a lot of shapes in it and a lot of colors, bold lines. There's not a lot of, I guess, technical aspects to it in terms of shading or line work or anatomical drawings. But again, this poster does exactly what it needs to do. I'm drawn into it by its color and its use of imagery, and then I see exactly what I want to know. Who, when, and where. And that's it. So for our, you know what, I have a couple more examples because I said you can use any type of artwork. And so those were really cool examples of very colorful, whimsical, geometric types of concert posters. When I say you can use any kind of art though for your concert posters, you really can. So another artist, another one of my favorite artists, actually uses old photographs or photographs that he takes of old locations, and he does this digitally. So he'll take a photograph and then upload the photograph into whatever program he uses, probably Photoshop or something like that, or Illustrator, stuff we even have on our iPads. You can probably use Canva to do some of these. But he'll take a photograph that he's taken and then incorporate type onto the photograph to create a concert poster. So right here, I know at the Chicago Theater, the band Spoon is playing on in October. And this is a fantastic, beautiful poster. This looks like a great piece of art that I would hang on my wall. Another one from the artist as well. He takes all these photos himself, and then he just goes in and digitally edits them and puts the type on them after using, I'm not sure what program or software he uses. So when I say you can use any kind of art, you can use any kind of art to create a really, really cool piece of art and advertisement for your favorite artist or band. Excuse me. And I'll give you guys a couple more examples before we move on. And these are in no particular order, but they're just really cool. All right, there we go. So as you can see, another concert poster, Josh Ritter. This looks like a children's storybook, and it's beautiful. This is an amazing illustration, but I'm drawn into this immediately. They use their own version of type that looks like it was probably painted with a paintbrush. It's very whimsical. This is by the same artist. And as you can see, they've taken a photograph of the artist Feist and just illustrated it somehow and drawn their own type down at the bottom. And like I said, who, what, when, and where. This looks like almost like a postcard or something you would receive. This is a great concert poster. And I'm showing you guys all these because, again, you can use any type of art. And that is why I love concert posters the most, because there's no parameters on it. If you're doing a charcoal drawing, you can't not do a charcoal drawing if you're doing a charcoal drawing. If you're doing watercolor, you can't not do watercolor. You have to do watercolor. If you're doing a concert poster, you can use whatever media you want. So if you want to do a concert poster and use charcoal, watercolor, spray paint, marker, and collage, you can. And it's limitless. This is for a band called Built to Spill. And this has elements of personification and onomatopoeia. It looks like a drawing from an artist that you may have learned about a year and a half ago in Mary's class. Excuse me, one moment. Sorry, I had something in my throat. This looks like a replication or an emulation of an artist you may have learned about a while back. His name's MC Escher, but this is a very cool concert poster. Again, I'm not sure if you can read it. The band is called Built to Spill, and it actually says Built to Spill in this building. And it looks like the water's spilling different ways in different directions. And it's kind of a tribute to MC Escher. Great poster, very cool. Now we're getting into more contemporary stuff. So when Drake went on tour with Lil Wayne, I don't really listen to Drake or Lil Wayne, but when Drake went on tour with Lil Wayne, they're two of the biggest hip hop artists in the world, apparently. So it's only suiting that would be more of like a clash than a collaboration. So what they did was they took this classic kind of video game font. I think this is from Street Fighter or something. And so it's, Drake versus Lil Wayne for world dominance. See who the greatest rapper is alive. In my opinion, neither of them, but that's neither here nor there. Biggie Smalls. Yeah, so Drake versus Lil Wayne. This is a great example. Again, another one right here. The artist Moby, who is a DJ, he spins records and makes digital music, and he's a great musician, great artist. The artist of this poster was able to incorporate what did we say, some personification and visual onomatopoeia. So since Moby uses records and he's a DJ, the artist did a great job of using a record player, the facade of a record player, into Moby's name. So the O is the record, and then the Y is what's called the stylus that goes over the record and holds the needle and plays the record. Sound comes out and it's all magical. This is another really cool example because it's very whimsical, almost childlike, for a band called Maroon 5. But the illustration is they're playing an all ages show. So all ages means anybody can go. A lot of times bands are, 21 and over or 18 and over just because it's adults only. So because it's an all ages show, the artists wanted to get the feeling of almost like children are welcome. So they used a childlike drawing, and it looks almost very storybook-like. This is a really cool poster. This is a great example of a poster. You can see elements of collage in here, very simple. There's some writing, it looks like there's some cutouts, very bold colors with black and red. And again, minimal typography. Another good example. All I need to know is that it's the Black Keys and they're playing in Paris, France, and the date is somewhere on the side. Really cool poster. This is also a good one, The Decemberists. This looks like it was made using some stencil and some spray paint, simple colors, great piece of art. And I'm going to zoom in too. I don't know if you can see this part right here. See those numbers where it says 131 out of 175? That means the artist made 175 of these posters. And this is number 131 of 175. So if you think about it, it's kind of weird to be like, well, there's, you know, art. We always thought art was just a one of one. Like there's only one Mona Lisa, and there's, you know, one statue of David. But what's cool about printmaking is you can make what's called multiples. You can make it over and over and over and over again. So a lot of people can have this. And what's cool about multiple art as opposed to singular art, so like the Mona Lisa, we all know we're never going to own the Mona Lisa, right? But with this, it creates a scarcity. So if there's 175 of these on the planet, then that means we have a chance to get one. So in making more, it creates what's called more of a demand, but also a scarcity. Does that make sense? It kind of creates this club. So once there's, you know, 170 people have this poster and there's only 5 left, but 5,000 people might want those last 5 posters. What are you going to do? You can charge as much as you want, as little as you want. So again, that's just a quick example of numbering the editions. This is a beautiful poster as well. This is a tour poster for the Foals. It just says when, or excuse me, all the dates. So it says when and who. The Foals, and who they're touring with and all the dates. There is geometric abstraction in this. You can see exactly what I've taught you. Lines across the paper, coloring in shapes, a tiny bit of collage right here, a tiny bit of hand drawing. This is a beautiful piece of artwork as well. It resonates with me a lot because it's very simple, has great colors. Coachella. This is a really cool example of a concert poster. You can see at the bottom, simple geometric type, basic colors, geometric abstraction up here with the lines going across and simple coloring in elements that I've taught you guys. So here we're getting into more contemporary artists. This is for Drake. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of Drake or his music, but he is a contemporary artist. So he does deserve a little bit of mention and attention right now. This is kind of emulating like a king playing card. And it's again, Drake playing on the fact that he thinks he's the king of rap or whatever. That's neither here nor there, but this is a great example of a poster because, you know, Drake and being the greatest, this looks like a playing card. And if you go and find a deck of playing cards and pull out the king playing card, the king is usually indisposed. Again, Justin Bieber. Not a big fan of Justin Bieber's music. That's neither here nor there. But this is a great poster. There's elements of collage. It looks like somebody just printed out a picture of him on their home printer, cut it out, pasted on a piece of paper, made a bunch of hatch marks around it, and then wrote with a Sharpie, Justin Bieber, Purpose World Tour. And to me, that's awesome because it shows exactly what I need to know. Justin Bieber is going on, or went on World Tour in 2016. And, you know, if I'm a Justin Bieber fan, I look at this and go, whoa, I'm drawn into it immediately. Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is also another artist who I guess deserves recognition and mention right now. I don't listen to Taylor Swift music, but she is very adept at her craft. She's very good. She's a fantastic musician. A lot of her music doesn't resonate with me personally, but I know with a lot of people it does. So we're just going to talk about Taylor Swift concert poster real quick. And as you can see this is all type, but it only tells us what we need to know. Taylor Swift Speak Now Tour, the Staples Center, August, and it's sold out. So even if you wanted to go, you can't. And that's the demand of Taylor Swift. And one final one here. You can see it's a cool illustration, a very whimsical line illustration. It looks like it was maybe colored in digitally or with watercolor. The color overlaps, and the typography, the lettering is very whimsical. So yes, those are some elements of concert posters, just a few examples. And I showed you those because those were some of my favorites and they're quick and easy to reference. But with a concert poster, you can do any kind of art you want, and you can pay tribute to your favorite artist or band and let their music inspire you. So as you're drawing your poster, you can put on the music, put on the band. What feeling do you get when you listen to that music, when you listen to that artist? Incorporate that feeling right back into the piece of paper, right back into the drawings, right back into the illustration, right into the typography. And so again, with concert posters, there is typography. Your whole poster can be letters or words. It can be top to bottom, big giant words, but all you need are 3 sections of words. The who and what, so your favorite band or artist, the when, the date and time, and the where, place and location. That's it. So you guys, your challenge or your project, your final project is to draw a concert poster using whatever media you want for whatever artist you want. And it can be a made-up day, it can be a real day. You can have, I don't know, Selena Gomez in The Weeknd playing on the last day of school at Sycamore. Or you can have, I don't know what bands kids like right now. So they have like Imagine Dragons or something playing at your birthday party in your backyard. Use your imagination. So your favorite band, when are they gonna play and where are they gonna play? And then think about where they're gonna play and try and incorporate that. So if your favorite brand is like Imagine Dragons, they're gonna play in your backyard on your birthday, maybe draw like a dragon or something at a kid's birthday party, something like that, just for example. So your challenge is concert poster. I leave you guys with the ultimate form, my ultimate form of artistic expression, because again, you can incorporate whatever you want into it. Yeah, that's it. So pick a favorite band, pick a favorite song, pick a favorite artist, pick a location, pick a time and a date, all made up. It could even be the Sick Potatoes, right? It could be the Sick Potatoes playing at the first day of school next year. Wink, wink, how do we make that happen? I think the people want it. I don't know. I think that would be rad if you walk up to school and there's just a full rock band on the steps, welcome you back to your 2021-22 school year. Just saying, just putting it out there. Maybe you guys can get the ball rolling. Again, that's up to you guys. That concludes today's lesson and example. And like I said before, I've really enjoyed being able to share some of what I know with you, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it, learning as much as I've enjoyed teaching. So I want to tell you guys a few things. Over the summertime, just because there's no lessons going on through school, there will still be some, I will still continue to post videos, and I'll post it in the Facebook group, and I will make it known to all of your parents. I will get these lessons out to you guys and continue this through the summer. It won't be on the same channel, it'll be on a different channel, but you guys will still be able to get the cool content. So I'm going to continue to make the lessons throughout the summer and going into next year. 2, keep practicing. Just like anything, it's day-to-day practice. So if you want to get better at piano, you have to practice scales, you have to practice sight reading, you have to practice your correct posture. You don't sit with the slouch back and you don't play with your hands flat, right? You have to keep your hands arched. There's a correct way to hold a pencil. There's a correct way to form the letters. So 2, keep practicing. 3, stay creative. Stay creative in music, taking photographs, collaging, cut and paste, building models, cooking. Cooking is creativity. Help your parents in the kitchen. And lastly, no matter who your art teacher is next year, honor that art teacher and stay attentive and be a good listener and be a good learner. And remember that art is still a class and you have to treat it like a class. And you don't have to like it, but you have to do it, and you have to be respectful, and you have to listen, and you have to respect the time of the teacher and respect the time of your fellow students. So when you get to art class next year, it's not a wild free-for-all. No running around, jumping on the rug, and doing power slides right when you walk in. Art is a class, and that teacher, whoever it is going to be there to share their information and their journey with you. So like I said, whoever it is, stay attentive and listen. And I've really enjoyed sharing what I know with you. And I hope to see you guys around. If you see me next year, come say hi, show me what you're working on, and stay creative, Sycamore. Oh, again, if you want to show me your concert poster, I would love to see it. Email me, artwithluis@gmail.com. Stay creative, Sycamore. Thanks, you guys. I'll see you guys around. Bye.